Otish.com. Learn anywhere, anytime.
Hello students, I am your instructor Sagun Samrat Sangrola, and in this class we will do writing task 1, and this is class 1 of writing task 1. For the basics of writing task 1, you can go to the introduction class and listen to or watch the basics. So I will not cover all the basics of writing task 1 in this class. I will revise something about the writing task 1 to make you easier so that you don't have to go to the introduction class. So in writing task 1, you are given certain graphs. So the graphs are diagrams or map questions. So in the graphs, it can be a line graph, it can be a bar graph, it can be a pie chart, it can be diagram, table, or map questions. Sometimes they make a mix, they make a combination of two graphs. There can be one line graph and one pie chart, or there can be two pie charts or four pie charts. Sometimes they will give you one bar graph and one table in a single question, so there can be a mixed questions. And there will be total 20 classes, 25 to 30 minutes average classes, and this class of writing task 1 will be expanded, and I will even be teaching you exclusive techniques of writing and what you should be focusing on and what you should be avoiding. So first of all, we will begin with the basics and we will go to the advanced forms of writing. So what does the question look like? Let's see, this is a question that you can get in writing task 1, but this is just a sample question. This is known as line graph questions. So here we have two other line graph questions. This is one question and this is another question. So in this first classes, we will only focus on line graph. So what I need you to do is, you need to forget about all those other graphs and pie chart and table questions. Just focus on the line graph. First of all, we will do the line graph question, and then after that we will go to the bar graph question, table questions, pie chart questions, and different other forms of questions. So what we will do is, we will begin from the very basics and we will go to the advanced form. So the problem with the student is, even though they do IELTS frequently, they are still stuck in band 5.5 because the students still do not know what to write. Okay, so there is a difference between how you write and how you should write. This is an example of how you write. So if this is the question, then I find most of the students writing in this way. You can pause the video and read this. So it says number of arrests in 1991 was 55. Let's see, is it 55 or not? Yes, it is between 50 and 60. It can be 55 or 56, so it is tentative. Was 55, it became 20 in 1993, and in 1996 it increased. Then it increased and decreased. Then it increased and reached 80. So this is the way you write. So in this answer, if you see it clearly, then what you find is, you do not have any grammatical mistakes here. Still, if you write in this way in your IELTS exam, then you will not get more than band score 5 because of various reasons. So this is how you write, but this is how you should be writing your answer. So you can pause the video here and read the answer. Feel free to pause the video and read the answer. So by the end of the class, you will be writing in this way or in a better version than this way. Okay, this is just a sample writing. So I hope you will be writing better than this one. So what is my aim is, I want you to move from this answer to this answer. That is my aim, that is my objective. And in this class, I will be speaking slowly, and I will be repeating the same thing again and again if those things are important. I will be repeating them because I want you to go get those things clearly. I want these things to penetrate your mind. That's why I'm repeating the same thing again and again. So if you find that I'm speaking rather slowly, then you can speed up the pace of the video. Okay, so let's begin. So first of all, I will begin with important verbs. I will teach you what verbs you should be using for writing task 1 and what verbs you should be avoiding. And then after that, I will go to the precision markers. So what are the precision markers and why are they actually needed? The third thing is language of change. Language of change is actually the backbone of line graphs, and most of the time it is also the backbone of pie chart and bar graph questions and even table questions. So we will do language of change in class 2. Then after that we will go to sentence structures. Okay, let's see the beginning example here. So in this case you have used only one sentence structure. You have written it increased, it increased, it decreased, it increased. So you have written only one sentence structure. That's why it looks like the answer written by somebody who is in class 5 or class 6, right? And then after that we'll go to CD format and even time mentions, data mentions, then we'll go to complex forms. First of all, I will teach you sentence structures. I will teach you 4 sentence structures, and after that I will also teach you to write those structures in complex forms if you want to get band 8, 8.5 and 9. And only after teaching you complex forms, I will go to the answer format. Only after it I will go to the answer format, and then after that I will talk about tenses. So some students usually ask me what tense to use. Should I write in past tense or present tense or future tense? What tense should I use? So I will be solving your queries in when I talk about tenses. So I promise that by the end of class 8 you will be starting to write the perfect answer in a perfect format. So first of all, let's talk about important verbs. Now these verbs look pretty easy, but there are something that I want you to consider. Okay, so I have divided these verbs in 2 sides. This is the left side and that is the right side. So first of all, in this class I will be talking about the verbs on the right side. So I want you to note it down. I want you to note both of these verbs, but for this class we will only be studying the right side verbs, and in another class we will be doing left side verbs. So there are some verbs: stood at, comprised, constituted, accounted for, made up. These are the advanced verbs that you must use in your writing task 1 answer. Let's see. So what you do is you write in this way: number of arrests in 1991 was 55. Let's see, in 1991, this is 1991, if that is not clear to you, it is 55. Here we have the point, it is 55. Yes, this is correct, but what we want to do is we want to avoid this common verb was, and we want to place something more advanced, such as comprised and constituted. Or you can even write number of arrests in 1991 accounted for 55 or made up 55. So this is written in past tense because we have dates here. So the easy thing is, if you find date in your question, then you will be using past tense. There is no any if, there is no any buts. Okay, so that's why I have used past tense here. Now the next thing is, why did I use comprised, constituted, accounted for, made up? Why are we using these verbs? Because these are advanced verbs and that will increase your vocabulary in your writing. But that doesn't mean that if you use these words you will get band score 7 or above. That doesn't mean. There are different factors responsible for you to make you reach the band 7. For example, you need to use different sentence structures, you need to use grammar correctly, you need to use vocabulary, you need to use linking words. So there are different factors that contribute to your band 7, and these words are one of the factors. So what students' mistake, let's talk about the mistakes committed by the students. They only focus on the vocabs. Okay, they only focus on the vocab. They go to google.com and find the synonyms and just place the word in their answer by hook or by crook. So that is not the good way of writing your answer. There are different factors responsible for you to get band 7. So you must understand this. And we are using these verbs because we want to pace up, we want to boost our vocabulary, we want to show off our vocabulary to the examiner. So what can be said, instead of writing was, you can simply write comprised, constituted. Let's take an example of this data. In 2000, number of arrests constituted 80. So you can even write number of arrests was 80. That is not an issue, that is not a problem, but because we want to show off our vocabulary, what do we do is in 2000 number of arrests was 80. It's exactly 80 here. Okay, so these are the verbs that you must understand, and there is an exception here, and the exception is this verb stood at. So this verb can be used when you are talking about the initial data. Stood at can be used when you are talking about or when you are writing about the initial data. So let's see here, number of arrests in 1991. 1991 is the initial data. 1991 data begins from 1991. This is the initial data, the beginning data. Okay, we cannot say beginning data, but just to make you understand, number of arrests in 1991 stood at 55. Stood at 55. Now you cannot write it decreased and stood at 20. You cannot use the word stood at to write about any other data. You can only use it here just to mention the initial data. And now I'm repeating this because students again make mistakes here. Now let's see the correct way and the incorrect way of writing. Number of acts disease in some land stood at exactly 100 in 1983. This is correct because 1983 is the initial data. This is the initial data, so you can use the word stood at here. But you cannot write number of acts disease in some land stood at exactly 200 in 1987. This is wrong because 1987 is not the initial data. This is here and it is talking about this data, and this is not the initial data. That's why you cannot use the word stood at while talking about this data. Now, except stood at, you can use these words comprised. Okay, so I don't want you to use of, just write comprised. So you can use comprised, constituted, accounted for, and made up anywhere you want. But stood at should be written only to explain the initial data. Now let's move forward. Now we will be talking about precision markers, and that is the second point on the list. So what is precision markers? Actually, precision marker means those words that show how precise is the data. Now this is very, very important. You must write whether the data is exactly 55 or nearly 55. Now in this case, let's say it is between 50 and 60. We do not know whether it is 55 or 54 or 56. So you cannot simply write, let's see here. Okay, you cannot simply write comprised 55 because we are not sure about this. Is it 55? It is not. It is somewhere between 50 and 60. So what you need to do is you need to use precision marker here. You must write comprised nearly 55. So if you write nearly 55, then you are always on the safe side. Okay, you must use these precision markers, so the data can be exact or near. For exact, you can write exactly, precisely, and accurately. So do not commit any spelling mistakes. Okay, you can write exactly, precisely, or accurately, or if it is near, you can simply write nearly, about, around, or approximately. I find some of the students writing APPROX and full stop. So if you write this approx, then you will not even get your approx band score. So never use those short forms while you do writing task 1, because writing task 1 and writing task 2, these tasks are quite technical, and these are academic writing. So you must be writing in a formal way. So while writing in a formal way, you cannot use this approx, you cannot use this and, you cannot use this for easy. Okay, do not write these short forms. These things reduces your marks. So let's move ahead. what do we do here? Here we find that in 1993 the data is 20. So it is exactly 20 because this is touching the line, and we find that that is exactly 20. So while you talk about this, you must write that the number of arrests decreased in 1993, reaching exactly 20. Or if you do not want to use the word exactly, then you can write precisely 20, or you can even write accurately 20. Now let's see another case here. Let's talk about this one. In 1995, it is somewhere between 20 and 30. Now you cannot say 25, you must say nearly 25, or approximately 25, about 25, or around 25. So what you do is, if you have already used the word nearly, then the next time you should not repeat this word. Why do you need to repeat the word? I have given you different words. You can write about. If you have already used this word, next time you can write around, and next time you can write approximately. And I will even give you more advanced precision markers now. See, these are some of the advanced precision markers, and these precision markers are very important because I don't find most of the students using these words. Most of the students use nearly, about, approximately, but they do not use these words. Why? Because they do not know that they need to use these words. Okay. So what are the meaning of these words? Let's say just below, just under, just above, just over, well below, well above. We can see that just below and just under. Let's see. Do we have any cases here? No, we do not have any cases for this. Let's go to another one. I will draw a line graph here. Let's say this is the price of petrol. This is the price of petrol, and in 2000 it is, let's see, this is the point, this is the point, this is the point. Let's see. Now if you find in 2000, we find that the price of petrol is just above 20. Okay, it is not near 40, it is just above 20. So you cannot say 21 or 22. Rather than writing nearly 22 or 25, you can simply write in 2000, price of petrol constituted just above 20. अलिकति माथि छ point भन्दा भने just above. अलिकति मुनि छ, यहाँ छ, थोरै मुनि, little below. So you need to write constituted just below. Let's see another example. Okay, these are the tourists in Pokhara here, and these are the dates 1980, 85, 1995, and 2000. So here we find that in 1980 it is just under 20, right? The number of tourists, let's say it is thousands. So here let's write thousands. THOUSANDS. Units are measured in thousands. In 1980, it is just under 20,000. You can simply write just under 20,000. So number of tourists in Pokhara constituted just below 20,000 in 1980. In the case of 1985, it is exactly 10,000. Right? It is exactly 10,000. In case of 1990, you can see that it is not just above, but it is well above 40,000. Well above भनेको चाहिँ अझै अलिकति माथि नै, थोरै मात्र माथि छ भने, यो लाइन भन्दा थोरै मात्र माथि छ भने it is just above, but थोरै भन्दा अझै अलिकति माथि छ भने it is well above 40. Now in this case, you can see that it is in 1995 it is just above 30. Okay, it is just above 30, and in this case it is exactly 60. So this is the way you can use precision markers here. So what you do is just below and just under, these are the synonyms. These two words have same meaning. Just above, just over, same meaning. Well below and well above. I have already told you the meaning of well above. So well below, you can derive the meaning from that, right? Let's see the example of well below here. Okay, so if this comes in this way, you can say that in 2008 price of petrol is well below rupees 40 because it is well below. If it was here, यहाँ भएको भए चाहिँ के हुन्थ्यो, just below हुन्थ्यो, तर यो भन्दा धेरै तल छ, यहाँ छ, बिचतिर छ. So you can say well below 40. Okay, now the next rule in IELTS is, IELTS को एउटा एकदमै important rule चाहिँ के छ भने, do not overuse anything, any of the words, even the structures. एउटै मात्र सेन्टेन्स स्ट्रक्चर पनि युज गरेको गर्नु भएन, and you cannot overuse the same word again and again. Now in this case you can say it comprised of just below 20,000 and after that exactly. So here now if you write just above 40 and just above 30, then again you are overusing the word just above, well above, just above, well above. So do not overuse it. So यहाँ यदि if you are writing, if you are going to write just above 30, भनेपछि यहाँ चाहिँ के गर्ने त भन्दाखेरि 40 र 50 को बिचमा छ, let's say approximately 45. Use different words. Do not use the same word again and again because it makes your answer monotonous and mechanical. Okay, so these are something that you need to understand. You are not going to overuse any words, any sentence structures. So in this class we learned important verbs and precision markers, and I'm going to revise some of the important things. So the first thing I told you is you are going to use these words: stood at, comprised, constituted, accounted for, and made up. So I did not discuss about these verbs. I'll be talking about these verbs in other classes. And stood at should be used only to talk about the initial point, while you can use comprised and all of these words anywhere. You can talk about the initial, you can talk about the midpoint, you can talk about the end. You can use these words anywhere, it doesn't matter, but stood at should be used at the initial point only. And after that, I talked about precision markers. I hope I made you understand. And then I even talked about advanced precision markers that you must use on your answer. So if you are confused with anything, you can simply text me or send me a voice message. So how do you text me, and what you should write while texting me is, and yes, you also need to text me your assignments. I'll give you different assignments. You will text me, you'll get the feedback, and you'll move forward. Okay, so what you can do is you can go to Facebook and search for Sagun Samrat Sangrola, and you can text me here, MESSENGER. I'm not asking you to send me a friend request, okay? Please understand this. I'm asking you to find me on Messenger and text me your problems, your queries, your homeworks, your assignments, any of the questions you have. If you have questions, you can simply send me a voice message. So if you are not using Messenger, then you can go to Viber and you can add me there, +977 98610 47646. So you can reach me here, you can add me here, and you can text me on this number via Viber. Okay, so I'm available on Messenger and on Viber. So the first time you are sending me a text, what you need to do is you need to write first time को चाहिँ विचार गर्ने है. फर्स्टमा चाहिँ I need to know that you are from Otis. Okay, I get different messages and I avoid those messages, so I don't want to avoid your message. So what you need to write is, hello sir, I am dash. Now your name here, I am name from dash. So you are going to write your permanent address here. Okay, you can say from Biratnagar or wherever you are. It can be temporary. Wherever you will be while you are doing this IELTS. I am your name from dash and I am from Otis. Okay, you can simply write I am from Otis. So the first message that you are going to send me is this: hello sir. So if you do not want to write hello, then you can simply write hi sir, or you can also write namaste sir, no problem, or you can simply write sir. I am Falano from your town and I am from Otis. अब मैले यो मेसेज देखिसकेपछि चाहिँ म रेस्पोन्ड गर्छु. I will respond you. Now why is this place important? Because I keep visiting different places. जस्तो तपाईं विराटनगरबाट हुनुहुन्छ, म विराटनगर भएको बेलामा I will contact you and we can meet and talk about your IELTS or further processes. So name, place, and I am from Otis. This is very important. So the first time you are sending me a text, I want this from you guys. Let's do this much for class 1. And in class 2, we will do language of change.